My name is Michael Longley. I was born in Belfast and educated at the Royal Belfast Academical Institution behind me, which is mercifully shortened to INST. So I'm an INST boy, an Instonian, and like all Instonians, I'm rather proud of the fact. One of the founders was William Drennan, the United Irishman, the radical Presbyterian, and he and a group of like thinkers founded the Linen Hall Library, which is just down there, and this school, and the liberal traditions of which he stood for were kept alive, really. Certainly when I was at the school. And it's also, I think you would agree, an exquisite Georgian building. One of the best, possibly the loveliest building in Belfast. I'm more of a nature poet, I suppose. I like writing about the countryside. I think one of the gaps in my oeuvre, as it were, might be the city of Belfast as subject matter. But nevertheless, the city willy-nilly gets into my poetry between the lines, as it were. I like to think that some of Belfast's salty wit gets into my writing. But if you take a poet like Kieran Carson, say Belfast is really his major subject, or it certainly was of his early poetry. I have written comparatively few poems which begin and end as the subject matter of this city. I haven't finished yet, so perhaps in future Belfast will large into my poems like that great black bus which has just roared past. When I was in sixth form at INST, our English teacher Joe Cowan introduced us to some Irish poets, most especially Louis MacNeice, and he's the poet I've chosen because he's just a brilliant poet, a marvelous love poet, landscape poet, cultural commentator, a multifaceted poet. But he was born here. He wrote some of the best poems that exist about Belfast. He spent most of his life in England, so people say, was he an Irish poet at all? But he's a bit like me. I mean, my mum and dad were English, and I think of myself as Irish, but also British. And there's that kind of schizoid feeling about MacNeice, towards which I feel great sympathy. He used to come to Belfast to recce for BBC. He worked with the BBC to do recce's for programmes, and his recce's always coincided with rugby internationals. So I'm pleased that there's another poet who's excessively interested, obsessed, would you say, with rugby. But he's a truly brilliant, flashingly intelligent, passionate poet, and he's from Belfast.